I was on my way back, the endless road stretching out before me, when I saw the abandoned gas station. It was the kind of place no trucker I know would ever dare to stop at, but fate, or maybe something else, pushed me to make the wrong decision. The rusted sign, covered in moss, barely showed any signs of life, but the old pump still looked like it was waiting for something. That night, the air felt heavy, and a cold sense that something was off crept over me as I stepped out of the truck. I didn't know it yet, but that was the beginning of my nightmare. Have you ever felt like you were being watched, so strongly that you had to look around, but there was nothing there? The silence was deafening. I approached the broken door, a crack in the wood letting the moonlight in, casting dancing shadows inside, like something, or someone, was there, just waiting. Fear doesn't come from monsters. It comes from the emptiness between your thoughts, the kind of emptiness that grows with every step you take. Fear is born from the unknown, from what your mind begins to imagine when it's too dark to see anything at all. I should have left. The air grew thicker the further I walked in, like the shadows were swallowing me whole. Something was moving behind the shattered windows and doors, and then I heard it. A breath, almost like someone was right there, breathing down my neck. My hands shook as I looked at my phone. Weak signal. I turned off the flashlight, and that's when I heard it. A door creaking open behind me, the same door I had just passed. What the hell was that? A figure appeared, a shadow moving at an angle my body couldn't follow, but my eyes couldn't look away from. I didn't even know if I wanted to believe what I was seeing anymore. And right then, in that exact moment, I understood what was behind every sound, every movement. I had stepped into something beyond explanation, something no one who ever passed through there had lived to tell. It wasn't just a deserted road or an old gas station. I was about to cross a line, into a place where the mysteries weren't just old rumors. What happened next? You'll have to see for yourself. Watch until the end. And if this video made you feel something, if the tension got to you, then, and only then, subscribe and leave a comment. I promise you, what you'll discover at the end will surprise you. The gate creaked shut behind me with a dry, metallic sound, like it closed on its own. The first thing I noticed was the silence. Not the usual kind. It was as if sound had been stripped from the world. Not even the crickets dared. I stepped in slowly, my phone's flashlight shaking in my hand, casting a narrow beam of light over dust and rust. The inside of the convenience store looked frozen in time. Cans still on the shelves, burnt coffee clinging to the bottom of the machine. But something felt off. The floor was too clean. No real signs of abandonment, just emptiness. Like everything had been carefully staged for my arrival. I walked through the narrow aisles, trying to figure out why my heart was racing. It wasn't just fear. It felt like my body was warning me that something was wrong, that I shouldn't be there. At the back of the store, I saw a door slightly open, with a faint flickering light inside. I thought about turning back, but my feet kept moving. When I pushed the door open, I found a bathroom with walls covered in symbols I couldn't recognize. They looked like claw marks, etched into swirling patterns that seemed to move if I stared too long. I lowered my gaze. Behind the door, a boot, dirty with fresh mud. I wasn't alone. I rushed out, the air colder now. The front window, which had only been dusty before, now had handprints. Not child-sized, not even human. Too long, as if they'd been dragged from the inside out. I grabbed my phone and tried to call, but the screen glitched, flashing images that weren't in my gallery. Pictures of me sleeping in the truck, outside, just moments ago. And in one of the images behind me, a figure, tall, still, in the dark. I turned around instantly. Nothing, just the empty aisle and the faint sound of something dripping. I started to doubt my sanity. Had I fallen asleep? Dreamed? I couldn't trust my own eyes anymore. I decided to leave, head back to the truck. But the front door was now locked, from the inside. I swear I tried to break it open. I kicked it, yanked the handle until my fingers bled. It wouldn't budge. I looked out the window. The gas station didn't look the same anymore. The pump was tipped over. The sign now showed a word that hadn't been there before. Scratched in, shaky, almost unreadable, but definitely in my language. Go back. But there was nowhere left to go. The station felt detached from reality, and I was trapped, somewhere between a hallucination and a lucid nightmare. I went back in. I needed answers. The storage room behind the shop was partially flooded, the water reflecting like a shattered mirror. I stepped in carefully, feet splashing through the puddles. An old radio in the corner turned on by itself, tuned to static that slowly formed broken words. He sees, always, inside you. I covered my ears, but I could still hear it. My head throbbed. In the back, I saw a door that looked like it led to a basement, not shown on the store's floor plan. There were stairs, and breathing, not mine, from below. I descended. Each step felt like it lasted forever. The air reeked of rust and rot. My phone's light flickered, then went out for a few seconds. In the darkness, I heard wet footsteps. Close. When the light came back, everything was still, except my reflection in a massive, dust-covered mirror. Only, it didn't mirror me. It waited for me. I blinked, and it smiled. A smile that wasn't mine. A smile that knew where I was. I tried to scream, but the sound died in my throat like the air had been sucked out of me. Then, behind me, a voice, low, right at my ear. It's been a while since you got here. I lost track of time down there. The walls seemed to breathe, to pulse. I saw flashes of the gas station as it used to be, full of people, normal. But every time I blinked, reality returned twisted, melting like hot wax. I found a trucker's wallet on the ground. The photo ID was of me, but with a different name, a different city, a different year. I checked my phone again. This time, just one notification. Keep recording. It was like all of this was being watched, like the station was a trap, a stage, a ritual without end. And I was the new lead. All I can do now is try to understand what it wants from me. Maybe nothing. Maybe just for me to exist here, to feel, to fear. And if you've made it this far with me, know this. This story isn't just about me. It's about anyone who dares to cross the line of the known. This isn't a regular curse. It's a hunger, a cycle, an echo that needs to repeat. So watch until the end. Feel every detail. And only then, if it truly got inside you, if something in you shifted after this, comment what you saw and subscribe. But only if you're sure you're still yourself. I started running through the distorted corridors of the gas station, but it felt like they kept stretching further as I moved forward. Every shelf multiplied. Every door led me back to the same place. My breath burned. Screams came from places where there were no mouths. I dropped my phone, and for a moment, I heard a recording playing on its own. My confused voice, asking, "Where am I?" repeated dozens of times, until it merged into a metallic laugh. When I looked down, there were wet footprints that came from inside my own body. I hadn't realized I was soaked. I went to the back of the store again, where there used to be a staircase leading to the basement. Now there was a tunnel. Organic. Alive. The walls pulsed, whispering in languages that reminded me of familiar voices, but distorted. I recognized my mother's name among the sounds. I entered. The ground was uneven, made of fragments of mirrors and old bones. I touched one of the walls and it responded. It showed a flash of me as a child, standing in front of the same gas station many years ago. A forgotten detail, or erased, as if all of this had started before my memory. Inside the tunnel, I saw a figure walking backward. It had my face, but not my body. It turned slowly, but before it could face me, I turned off the light. Behind me, I felt fingers touching my neck. Cold, thin, endless. I turned, but there was only a wooden door with the number 404 carved into it. as if it was wrong, lost. When I opened it, I stepped into a room identical to my truck cabin. Even the smell of old coffee was there. On the passenger seat, a cassette tape with my name written on it by hand. I touched it. Nothing but a silence so dense it made me cry. I lay on the seat and closed my eyes. For a second, everything vanished. When I opened them, I was at the beginning of it all. In the parking lot, engine running, radio playing static. But now there were details that weren't there before. The gas pump was dripping blood. The shadow of the store was too long for the time of day. And inside, through the glass, I could see myself, standing still, as if waiting for me to enter again, which made me realize, maybe I never left. Maybe I've never existed outside of here. And if all of this is just an echo, a distorted reflection of the moment I was forgotten by myself, I grabbed my phone. The screen now showed just one phrase, displayed as a fixed notification. "You saw." I tapped on it and the images started. Not of the store or the gas station, but of intimate places. My bedroom, my bathroom, my childhood. Someone had been with me all along, watching, immortalizing. I started hearing that old radio again, but now it repeated, in my own voice, "You are the record. You are the mistake." I screamed, but no sound came out. Only a slow echo, coming from the earth beneath the station. An echo that said my name, the way no one else knew. I began to forget things. My last name, the color of my truck, my sister's face, the feeling of being alive. The gas station didn't want my escape. It wanted my form, my story. It wanted me to become part of the cycle. And I understood. Every person who disappears here becomes a new riddle, a new fragment, a new whisper. Maybe you've already heard one of them when passing by an empty place with flickering lights and the feeling that someone was following you. They aren't just sensations. They are echoes of those who stayed, like me. And if what we call reality is just a thin membrane over chaos, and if there are places like this, rifts that suck what we forgot to protect inside ourselves, this gas station isn't a legend. It's a flaw, a tear, a warning. And now, maybe because you watched until the end, you've been touched by it too. Look closely at the reflections. Listen to the silences. See if everything around you is exactly as it should be. Because those who watch sometimes continue what began with someone like me. Some secrets don't want to be discovered, and punish those who try to reveal them. So, before you sleep, check if the door is really locked, if the mirrors don't watch you back, and, above all, if you still remember your full name. Because when that fades, there's no going back. The gas station doesn't want you to understand. It just wants you to keep going, as a spectator, as part of it. And now that you know too much, it knows you too.